Welcome to Full Scope, a podcast designed to analyze the games that we love, headlines and music, and the movies we can't forget. I'm your host, Wendy Burns. My counterpart, Savon Morris, aka Savon's Corner, is back in the building.
I have some things to clear up. I watched the podcast with you and Makai, and I left some comments on all
He
social
did.
media
He did.
platforms. I knew he was like, we're waiting for him. All you guys were talking about was nonsense.
He's here to
But
clear up things. He's here to clear up
yeah,
things.
and we're gonna talk about it here shortly. Mr. Brock Purdy, fan base of Brock Purdy.
The fan base is here, man. They've arrived. They're already in Vegas.
No. You know what's crazy, Wellington? You've been riding the 49ers this entire second half of the season through the playoffs, and then you have them losing. What's that about? Let's start there.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
That's insane, pal.
Well, obviously, we got to do a Super Bowl preview and some NBA topics. Going to do some album reviews in the second half. Start off with thoughts on the Chiefs 49ers Super Bowl. The Chiefs defense, they've been elite for the majority of the year. The 49ers offense has, so many weapons at their disposal, which has kind of brought them back in their last few games. And looking at this game, obviously, I mean, when we look at the X factor, I think Christian McCaffrey is going to be just so important for them
Yeah.
because he's a great runner, great pass catcher. He can do so many things to really diversify the offense. What are your initial thoughts on this game and what's going to be the key factors?
Key factor for the 49ers is Kyle Shanahan. And I think it starts with the play call. And he's been in this predicament, this stage 3 times, right? One with the Falcons, one with the 49ers, and he's back with the 49ers. And he had a quarterback similar to what a quarterback he had now, Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm just going to put that out there. But I think it starts with the play calling. You just said the Chiefs defense has played lights out, only allowing maybe like 17 points each game.
Yeah.
Now, how do you figure out how to one, game manage, not make mistakes, and have big plays? How do you get George Kittle started early and often? Because the last game they did not get him started. I think he had 2 catches that game. You have to get George Kittle started. I'm not afraid of Christian McCaffrey. I'm not afraid of Deebo Samuel. It's George Kittle. And you see what he did against the Green Bay Packers. It's just he's a different type of tight end. He's a Travis Kelce. That's who you need to get started. And on the other side is George Kittle. I mean, not George Kittle, but Travis Kelce. He's the X factor. He is that. You see what he did against the Lions. It was just crazy. Not the Lions.
The Ravens. The
Ravens. Sorry. What he did against the Ravens, it was just getting in people's heads, being able to get open, knowing what the defense is. I think he's one of the smartest tight ends in the league because he knows where to crease at, where to stop the route, where to find holes in the coverages. And
I think IQ is so high. The IQ is just so
super high. Obviously, everybody wants to say it's Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, but he has to throw it to somebody. His wide receiving core is not as strong. And I think it starts with Travis Kelce and then Isaiah Pacheco. I think he's going to be a different X factor as well for that offense. He's continues to progress throughout the season and through the playoffs, running the ball really hard, finding the holes, not letting one defender take him down. And that's what we love in the NFL. That's what you love in any level of football, not one guy taking you down. I think that's the X factor. But on the 49ers, it's definitely Kyle Shanahan. How can you coach yourself? You lost 2 Super Bowls. One, it was horrific.
It's a bad track record.
Bad 28-3, and then you stop, being aggressive play with your play calling, and then Patriots come back. We already know what that is, and it just came down to Jimmy not being able to sustain and go on a winning drive and win the game. But I think this time his play calling has to be different because of this Chiefs defense and what they've been doing throughout the playoffs and throughout the season.
Has it surprised you? Because with the 49ers, usually when they have deficits, it's like, oh, it's over them because they don't play good behind. Like the last 2 games, they've come from behind. Like how much does that surprise you? Or do you think it's one of those things where when you have an offense like that, you're always going to be able to really stay within games?
It depends on the situation, right? Because it can either go one way. The offense can get you back in there and create crazy plays like they've done all season, or the defense can start creating turnovers, and then that offense can get back into the swing of things. But I do think it starts with the defense doing takeaways, getting to the quarterback, creating havoc in the backfield. I think that starts because I truly believe defense wins championships. And I think both of these defense have stepped up in big moments, especially with the 49ers against the Lions, that fumble with Jahmyr Gibbs and a bunch of other takeaways. And then obviously you got the Kansas City Chiefs stopping the Ravens. And that's a whole nother story. I just don't understand
What did you think
why.
about that? I know, like
I know
them not running it. You know, I know you went on for that episode, but man, like I watched
that's a
that game.
crazy stat line.
I watched that game. I was watching the game with Tyler, and I was like, bro, why are they just not running it anymore? I was just like, what's going on? And like, this is their bread and butter. Nobody can stop them when they run the football. And it's just like, what I was talking about in the last episode. I was saying, man, it seems like Lamar Jackson's trying to beat Mahomes at his game. Like, oh, I'm going to show I can be the thrower. I can be the passer.
It wasn't Mahomes. I mean, it wasn't. Shoot, what's his name? What? It's this morning. It's all about morning.
It's always Saturday morning.
The Saturday morning.
Our mornings are always different.
Lamar. It wasn't Lamar. It was the OC.
Yeah,
man.
no, I agree with you. I'm just saying, like, their offensive strategy was just so befuddling.
It was terrible. I like the words you use, but I'm gonna use a simpler term for people who don't know that word. Yeah. It was basic, terrible.
Yeah. If I was the I'm just gonna involve that.
No, I mean that's also, you know, but man, when you're I think they were a number 1 rushing tip offense and a top 5 rushing team offense,
right?
And you only run 12 times. Gus Edwards' first run was like 15, 16 yards. I didn't understand it. You weren't behind on the sticks. You weren't behind in the game to where you're throwing 83% of the snaps. You get to one of the biggest moments and you forget your identity.
Forget who you are.
Who are you, Jason Bourne? Like, what's going on? You forget your identity.
Who am I?
And then this offensive line is not capable.
Yeah.
Of throwing 83% of the time. Because they were sending the most simplistic blitz and they could not pick it up.
Like even Odell told Lamar, like in that sideline clip, he's like, hey man, like when you're running and you're like nobody can stop you. Like he was like,
no.
He was saying, like, man, just it's different when you're being a runner.
Bro, and then it looked like he was thinking too much. Run.
He got in his head.
Lamar, run. Don't be Jalen. You don't have to hold the ball open. You don't have to get the chunk plays. Get 5 to 6 yards. Live for second and third down. We can run the football. Like, it's just a lot of things that played a role into them losing, and they still have the opportunity to win.
Honestly. Still.
Now, that throw he made when it was 4 coverage in cover 2, now that was a pass interference. I'll say that, but you do not throw that ball. You don't throw that. You live to fight another day. You run that.
Triple coverage.
Triple, 4, quadruple.
He's like, this YOLO.
Somebody's down there. Yeah, one person. And then 5 people around him. So it was crazy. But I think it was 4 down territory. You don't have to throw that ball. It was just a lot of things. He overthinking, and then the play calling was atrocious. I just didn't understand it. And then it made the Chiefs. The Chiefs just, man, that was the difference maker. Patrick Mahomes extended plays. They were getting to him now.
They were. They were getting to him. And I like the thing that I think the misconception with the second half, because people were like, man, the Chiefs didn't score any points. I'm like, also, they didn't really have to. It was like a game managing situation where Patrick Mahomes was like, and that's where he's getting into that Brady zone of like, hey, I'm just gonna manage the game when we have a comfortable lead. And unless I need to make those necessary throws like he did in Buffalo, I'm not gonna have to do it. So I think that's, to me, maybe you disagree, but I think that's the misconception, because people are like, oh, the Chiefs just didn't score, they're not as good. I'm like, no, like they started the game off hot, but the Ravens were not responding in any way.
No, and the defense shut them out. Like, people don't defense wins championships. When your defense does not allow a team to score, you don't have to do much.
You don't have to do much.
They're so used to the Chiefs having these big numbers and Patrick Mahomes. The Ravens defense is really, really good, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think, and if you didn't know that, they were really, really good. It's just Patrick Mahomes can extend plays better than any quarterback. And he was doing that throughout the game. It was,
Yeah.
man, I was like, bro, just tackle him. Get him. No. Ah. And then he'll get the first down. And then they'll set the offense back up and they'll run the football with Isaiah. They'll run the football with him, set the tone, set the pace. They had the ball longer than the Ravens. That's a smart game plan. If our second half, we're adjusting. If my defense is stopping them, we're going to run the ball and we're going to run the clock down. And then when we need to throw, we will throw the football. Perfect game plan. This is not rocket science, ladies and gentlemen. It's football. It's a game.
Did you have a
I totally
problem?
agree.
Did you have a
Huh?
problem? Did you have a problem before the game when with Travis Kelce and Justin Tucker and
Yes.
did you,
Yes. Yes, I did. That was if I was one of his teammates, if I was Justin Tucker, one of the teammates, a finger would have been on somebody's forehead. Hey, bro, get away! Like, because that's disrespect. The kickers are already out there beforehand. Before anybody else gets out there, the kickers are they're already there. Set it up, and y'all gonna throw his stuff, and none of your teammates help you.
bro? Bully mode. The Chiefs were in the Ravens' head from the jump, man. That's where I saw the
Man,
difference. And honestly, I mean like, that a little bit of that was unfair, but I also was like, man, they are bullying you guys from the jump. They're
yeah,
just like, hey, we're just in your head. We're at your home. We don't care. And I feel as though with this game, the Ravens, they just look like it was the first time they'd ever been there.
yeah,
It just almost felt as though like early from the jump because I had picked the Ravens. I was like, man, that Ravens offense is overwhelming. I was like, I think
yes,
everybody had the Ravens, but
yeah.
the Chiefs just looked comfortable and like, hey, we've been here before, and they almost embraced
They
that road dog mentality.
Yeah, and they overthought it. That's what the
Yeah.
Ravens did. The defense did. The defense played great football
Oh
for the
yeah,
Ravens. It was
commendable.
the offense.
Yeah.
Number one, top five in running, and you don't run the ball. You pass it 83% of the time, and when the score is super close, that's he wouldn't be my OC next year. That's how bad it was. He would not be my OC. I'll find a new one. And he was supposed to be better than the past OC.
And hey, and Lamar, he did win MVP, second MVP 27, but I know he would have.
He
I know
should
that
have been here.
that's the thing. It's just like you get. I know that's a bittersweet award for him because it's just like, man, I should be in Vegas right now. I really should be playing the football.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It should be it should be the Ravens and the Lions. It
Oh, the
should be the
Lions. That's a whole other
Ravens
story. The
and the
Lions is a whole other
Lions.
story. Talk about two teams that just they just blew it. They just blew it. And get into now like which team should be the favorite. Um, it's interesting because in totality, man, I know like you're looking at me crazy
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
I had okay. So Savon has Savon's corner. I've got Wellington's Y zone, man. Wellington's Y zone is here now. It's here now. It's here because Wellington's Y zone is
Wellington.
here because here's the thing, man. I want to go with who I've been rolling with all year, but I got to use logic. I just got to use logic, man. And I just think in this game, Steve Spagnuolo and the way he runs that defense and what Chris Jones can do, at some point, man, they're gonna make this like this crazy turnover. I just feel it. I feel it. I feel it coming late because I got it 24-20. But when you look at this game overall, who to you should be the favorite?
49ers.
Okay.
You know why? Because of Brock Purdy, baby. No, that's not
That's
the
crazy.
reason.
This
That's
guy's a
not the
troll.
reason. That's not the reason. I think if they get in a shootout match, I think the 49ers have a better OC. And I know a lot of people love Andy Reid, but I think Kyle Shanahan will go down as one of the best OCs ever. And I think his play call is going to be so crisp that Brock Purdy has no choice but to throw like 3 touchdowns. They will get George Kittle started. They will stop the running game with Isaiah. They'll have to rely on Travis Kelce, which he at the end he's going to get gassed. And I think the 49ers going to get their first Super Bowl in a while.
Are you
That's what I
comfortable?
think.
Are you comfortable 3 weeks in a row betting against the Chiefs? You picked Buffalo, picked the Ravens. Now you're picking the 49ers. Three weeks in a
I
row.
didn't pick the Buffalo, did I?
Yes, you say.
I picked Buffalo.
You said Wellington. I think this is Buffalo's year. I think they got KC.
Oh yeah.
KC this time. So
Again, Buffalo got in their own way.
that's what I'm
The
saying. All
Ravens
these
got in their
teams get
own
in their
way.
own way.
But the 49ers
We saw what happened in
not do
2020.
that.
We saw what happened in 2020. 49ers had a lead.
49ers, yeah. 49ers had the lead, but I don't think that happens again. I think now they know what they play against. It's a similar team, similar players, similar styles. I think they understand the moment. I think Kyle Shanahan coaches a phenomenal game on offense. The defense steps up. It's going to be a high-scoring game. It's not going to be a low-scoring game. It's going to be a high-scoring game. It's going to be like the 49ers and the Lions game. It's going to get there. It's going to get there. Because if they get George started early, oh my goodness, it's going to be a long game for the Chiefs. That's how bad I think George Kittle is a better tight end than Travis Kelce. I've said this several times, but Travis Kelce is so designed into the scheme where he's the only one really. He gets majority of the play calling. George Kittle's on a team with some monsters, Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel. Like there's a lot of people that he has to share the game plan with. But if he was the solo guy, boy, George Kittle would be the monster. He's still a monster with 3-4 other guys.
With 3 other guys. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think if they get him started, and you see what happened when Christian McCaffrey was eating, but it's a difference when I got to worry about the tight end who can streak up the field on cover 2, who's a mismatch in cover 3, cover 0, cover 1. Man, it don't matter. He's such a mismatch. They're not giving him the ball. Okay, cool. We can focus on this. And they were doing those things, and they need to get George Kittle started early. If they do that, it's gonna be a good one. That's just me.
You got a score? You got a particular score? You thinking?
Ooh. Come down to a kicker. 34-31.
That is a high scoring game.
It's going to be there. It's got to be there. It's got to be. With these two offenses, even though defense is playing good, these are two good OCs. I think Kyle Shanahan's a better OC. Just as me. I didn't want to rhyme right there, but I did.
You did.
No, I think Kyle Shanahan's the better OC, and I think he's going to have such a great game plan against his Chief defense. They're not going to know what hit him. And they're going to be zeroing in on Deebo and Christian, and they're going to forget about George Kittle because he hasn't been present since the Green Bay Packers game. And that's the difference, I think.
I mean, this is a tight contest either way you put it.
Yeah,
it's really going to go down. And I do think with Andy Reid in a bye week, I don't know if he has like a close to undefeated record, but in a bye week, Andy Reid is like their offensive game plan after a full week off is like really tough to top. But those two OCs are both masterminds, and I think Kyle Shanahan, he's been knocking at the door year after year.
It's time for him to grab.
You know what I mean? He's been knocking at the door year after year. So, what do you think is going to be the if the 49ers win, what do you think is going to be this? Like, do you think Shanahan's going to be kind of like bolted up in like kind of that all-time top tier list of OCs?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. He's coached every type of quarterback you can think of. From Robert Griffin to Kirk Cousins to Brock Purdy to Jimmy Garoppolo to Matt Ryan. He's had every style of running back as well. But that system that he implements and then put on his dad implemented, and now he put it on steroids and just had it. Now it's an octopus. It has so many levels to the offense. I mean, if he gets one, I think people will be like, oh, he's up there with Andy Reid and all these other guys who's been great OCs. But everybody thinks about the 28-3 with the Falcons. That's everybody's
tough memory to forget.
Yeah, really tough. Really, really tough. And I get it. So if he gets one, but only thing I don't want to happen is Brock Purdy be put into this elite quarterback status. And I understand it wasn't his fault that he got into this array of talent, but we're not going to put him in that status when he's adopted this array of talent. And I know I heard you guys talk about, he made a couple big plays. He's supposed to.
He extended those plays, though. He's
supposed to. That's why he's a starting quarterback, because he can extend plays.
Wait,
That's his. That's his.
that's such a different
That's
metric.
his biggest, bro. Come on now. That's his
But
biggest upside is in extended plays. If he stayed in the
yeah,
pocket, we
he would
would not
be
having
he would
this
be Garoppolo. He
conversation.
would just be Garoppolo. That's why he's a better version than
No,
Garoppolo.
he's not a
He's
better version.
he is. Wait,
Jimmy
you
didn't
cannot
want
say
to
that.
extend plays. Jimmy didn't want to extend plays because that's he is a pot. He wanted to be a pocket passer, right?
And he missed deep throws. That Emmanuel Sanders throw in the Super Bowl, like that was on him. They would have won. They would have beaten the Chiefs that year in 2020 if he had made that throw. Like
I'll give you that.
that's where it
I'll
comes. I
give you
think
that.
if Brock Purdy had to make that throw, he would make it. But
But he
not
hasn't had
Garoppolo.
to make that throw because he has so many
I'd
array of
have to.
talent around him. Yeah, you just get a ball to Christian or a slant to Debo. Or we're not. If
Just,
he was a Super Bowl, we're not putting him in elite quarterback status. Absolutely not. And I think people will
well,
start doing that.
if he does, though, Cam Newton owes an apology. I expect an
No,
apology.
no, he does not. He does not owe him an apology because I've seen quarterbacks who had less than him do exactly what he's doing and not get the same praise. Remember Tannehill when he first got
I
it,
do.
when he first come out of Texas A&M with the Miami Dolphins,
Mm-hmm.
lights out. No number one receiver really, no really running back, but was playing lights out. Numbers were crazy. Didn't get the praise. I got 10 more quarterbacks, but we all know we got the time for it. But that's what I'm saying. Why are we giving Brock Purdy the same that type of praise this early in his career when he's adopted into a family that already had dogs? I don't get it. And I know there's a lot of people saying y'all need to stop. I'm not taking anything from him, but I'm just saying there's certain criteria that we give certain other quarterbacks that they have to meet. But we gave Brock Purdy this little step ladder. Like, yeah, Brock's the game changer. Brock's the elite quarterback, and he has a step ladder. But we give other quarterbacks this long stairwell to heaven just to get to this elite quarterback status. It's insane. That's what all I'm saying. I'm not taking anything from Brock Purdy. What he has overcome for being the last pick in the draft and being the starting quarterback of this type of team, that's no small feat, but we're not going to put him in a realm where he doesn't belong just yet. We can't do it. We can't do it. And a lot of people are doing it because of the talent he has. We expect that from a quarterback who's adopted that. Well, just me in particular, I expect that. Like,
what do you
come
think
on,
about
bro.
what do you think about the if the Chiefs win and Mahomes has 3 at 28, and what do you think about the whole GOAT conversation between? Because obviously he has a lot more years to
Yeah.
play. But what do you think about the comparison between him and Brady and what he possibly has to do to eventually maybe get to that status?
I hate this comparison, right? Because two different journeys, two different style of quarterbacks. And
It's a
Tom
better
Brady,
comparison than LeBron and MJ. It's a better one than LeBron and MJ because I think that's a better one because the resume, Mahomes is at a pretty fast clip right now.
similar. It's yeah, okay, I'll give you that.
I
It
mean, they
is a better
actually
one.
played during the same time. I think
Same,
like
yeah. I mean,
LeBron
at the
MJ is
tail
like,
end.
come on,
Yeah.
they played like twice.
Okay, I give you that. Tail end of the career. I mean, obviously Super Bowl and
Yeah, AFC Championship.
But I would say there's two different journeys. Obviously, Tom Brady had to sit,
Yeah,
and Patrick Mahomes came into a
just came in from the
situation
jump.
where, like I told you, Andy Reid didn't believe in him. There was another guy who who wanted him and then hounded Andy Reid for a whole season until like, okay, let's draft this guy. And I don't think anybody understood what he was going to come into and blossom into. But I think if Tom Brady had the same allotted time to be a starter, then I would be comfortable saying, hey, I think Patrick Mahomes is going to be a better. I think he's the GOAT status of quarterback. But just given the season, I need to have Patrick a little longer
Okay,
because
yeah,
of
that's fair.
the journey of Tom Brady. But don't get it wrong though. There's only one person who's ever came close to the status of Tom Brady, and it's the guy who we're talking about. I think eventually, if he stays healthy and he stays with the same team, for sure he'll be the greatest
Oh
quarterback
yeah.
that ever played football.
what he's doing this 6 years into his career, 6 AFC championships. I mean, it's an incredible run, man. It doesn't even make sense. Like,
Nobody knew this guy was going to
nobody
be
knew
this
this.
good, man. That's insane to be able to do that.
What's
And
yeah, keep going.
And I think he for the first time this year, he showed how great he was. This wide receiver core he's had.
Trusting Marquez Valdez-Scantling multiple times,
Again?
man. Again.
I thought he was gonna drop it.
I thought so too. I was like, ain't no way you catching that. No way he's catching
got
that.
it. I was like, that's what's up, man. I miss Valdez-Scantling. But man, yeah, he showed it this year with that wide receiver core and them mismatching running backs and Isaiah finally get it. Yeah, I think he definitely proved.
He said throughout the year, hey, this offense is gonna figure it out. And at some point I was like, I don't think it's gonna happen. The more and more you kept seeing these drops, but he just kept trusting the receivers and it happened. But man, we gotta talk about, what do you think Usher's gonna start off with for
Let it burn? No, joking. Nah, he gotta start with
He has to. He honestly has to.
Either that's the first
or close out with You know what I mean?
He's gonna bring Ludacris and Lil Jon out there.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's interesting. Now you got me thinking.
Or is he gonna do the oh my God? Maybe like the middle part of the show he could do that.
He got to start with something slow, like he probably on a piano or some roller skates or something, rollerblades. Mm-hmm. I got to think about that. He got so much. He's got great catalog of music.
He's got such a stacked catalog that it's like, where could he go wrong? But at the same point, I think it's got to be a build up. It's like you start off with something slow, and then you just build up the tempo.
Because he got so much. You remind me of Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. If I was here, I'd start with just to get the crowd pumped up.
Yeah.
And to bring Ludacris and Lil Jon.
He's definitely gonna bring out Ludacris.
I hope so. That would be dope.
Yeah, he's gonna put on a show, man. Like, and he just released the album. We gotta review his album next week. Just released an album.
Oh, perfect timing, huh?
Perfect time. I was like, wow, what a coincidence.
Super Bowl.
Here's an album for you guys.
And this is a dumb question. What time does Super Bowl come on?
5:30.
5:30. Okay.
5:30, man. That's such a weird time, but honestly, the day after the Super Bowl should be a national holiday. It should be, man. It should be a national holiday because people they're so hungover. They're so hungover after the Super Bowl. They're like, oh man, I go back to school, gotta go back to work.
That's valid, bro. That's valid. It should be a national holiday. That's funny. I've never thought about that. It should be a national holiday.
The question we don't want to ask, this last question I asked, the Chiefs win. Is Kelsey gonna get down on one knee? Have a top 3 moment situation.
Oh my goodness. He could get on his stomach for all I care, bro. I really don't care, bro. At this point, bro, this has been the most drawn out thing. Worse than the guy who got injured last year for the Bills, who almost died.
Damar Hamlin.
This has been the most drawn out thing. More than that. Because the NFL loves to draw out things, especially CBS. Oh my goodness. CBS oh my gosh. CBS has a contract with her. But I'm tired of seeing it. But if he does, saw a quote saying that I'm glad he came in my life. I knew you were my wife or something. Is that true? Was that a true statement?
I don't know.
I don't know if that was true or not. I just saw it on Facebook scrolling. I was like, oh my goodness, get out of here. And I don't think he proposed because it's only been 8 months?
Yeah, I don't see that happening. I know the Swifties are tuned in. I know the Swifties.
It's been a whole season, Will it? Yeah, it's been a year.
And my thing is this: how much they like. I know people say they're upset and they're annoyed by it, but how long are they actually cutting off her? It's like 3 to 4 seconds and they tune right back in. It's not like they're just showing her the entire time by having a whole sideline game. I'm like,
bro,
they're in a relationship.
Wellington.
Let them.
No other player's wife, girlfriend is shown this much.
Hey, what do we do when Spike Lee is shown on the sideline at the Knicks game? Are we like, Spike, if they show Spike one more time, they show celebrities
Spike
on the
Lee.
They show celebrities on the sideline.
He's a staple. He's been doing this for years. Wellington, come on. I know you're not trying to have some correlation
No, I'm not. Oh no, no.
between.
I'm. Oh no,
Okay,
no, no. I was
because that's what
definitely.
it
I would
seemed
never do
like.
that. I would never do that. I
We'll
was.
never
Or
get
when
tired of
Aisha
saying
Curry, or
Spike.
when Aisha Curry was showed all the time, at Steph's game. But that was like actually a couple. This one is like more so like she's a celebrity. She's the biggest artist in the world. You know.
Yes.
I
And
think
we're
that's
getting publicity off her. Aisha Curry has been there for years, and they show her periodically over the years. Do they show her now? Absolutely
oh no,
not.
no.
So this has been redundant to
This
say the
eclipse.
least.
This eclipse Jessica Simpson and Tony Romo. Man, this
That
eclipse
was
those days.
worse. That was worse.
Hey guys, if you're complaining
That
about
was
this, look
worse.
back at that because I
The
was in
same
Dallas.
thing.
I was in
It was
Dallas.
the same thing. Oh my goodness. It just clicked, bro. That was the exact same thing.
And Taylor just announced that she's releasing an album in April. So man, she's using all this publicity to just. I mean, she's like the music industry boogeyman. Nobody wants to drop when she drops, bro. She's like everybody is like, yo, Taylor. It may not be my cup of tea, but we're stepping out the way when she drops.
Guess who won't be listening?
Hey, but I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna tell you what though. Last thing, man, we've been on this too long. Last thing I'm gonna say though, we've been on this topic. Last thing I'm gonna say though, I was talking about it with a few other guys in Tyler, and they said, man, if they break up, that breakup album is gonna be a classic. That's gonna be a classic.
Exactly.
It's gonna be called Travis. It's gonna be a certified classic in all caps.
Bro, that's so funny. During the Senior Bowl, that's what we were talking about. We was like, man, when they break up, it's gonna be over. That album
is gonna be insane.
87 songs.
It's gonna be a double disc.
She gonna have a song.
It's gonna make her life after death.
No, it's crazy, man. It's gonna go triple platinum.
Triple platinum instantly.
I knew he didn't love her. Oh my god. They're worse than the Beehive. No, actually, no.
Hey man,
nothing's worse than the Beehive. Nothing's worse than the Beehive.
Oh no, not at all.
Not at all. Nothing's worse than the Beehive. Oh my gosh. So
or the Barbs.
It's just worse. Get worse every time you just mention one. It's just worse.
And not just into the NBA with kind of NBA trade deadline takeaways. Some of the notable moves: Patrick Beverley goes to the Bucks. The Suns, they get Royce O'Neal. PJ Washington goes to Dallas from Charlotte. And obviously Bogdanovich, Alec Burks to the Knicks. The Knicks, man, they are really climbing up, man. They're looking really good. I know they have Julius Randle out, but man, Jalen Brunson has had a phenomenal season. In terms of point guards for New York, they're revitalizing that position for them.
Yeah.
He's looking phenomenal this year. So what were there any trade deadline takeaways that stood out, or were there teams that didn't make a move that you thought should have made a move?
I like Pat to the Celtics. Not the Celtics. I mean the Bucks. Yeah. I love that. Steven Adams to the Rockets. I really like.
Oh, that's a good move, man. That's a good move.
Really good move. There was another one. Shoot, where is it? Oh, I like Robin Lopez to the Kings. I think he still got some juice left. There was one more I was looking at, and I was like, they let him go. What are y'all doing? Y'all let him go? Oh yeah, Dennis Schroeder and Thaddeus Young for Spencer Dinwiddie. I was like, Dennis Schroeder is a bucket, and then Thaddeus Young has been a bucket. I was like, y'all let them two go to, but I like what the Nets are doing too. The Nets are trying to rebuild low key. Yeah. And I always thought they were never gonna deal away Spencer Dinwiddie because he's been so consistent for them. But they got rid of him, so I was like, oh, okay.
I didn't think that was gonna happen. Yeah.
They were really serious about this move. But the biggest takeaway, obviously, in my eyes, was Patrick going to the Bucks. It's like, man, that's what they need. And then I don't know, because I think Dame should go to the 2, to be honest with you. I don't know. I think Dame just go to the 2 because he looks comfortable.
They're still really in an experimental phase with that team. That team is just not settled yet.
1-5. Well, now I think it's 1-6 now. with Mr. Doc, Mr. Scratchy Voice.
I was like, hey, I kind of was happy that he got a job with coaching because I was like, I don't want to hear him commentating anymore. I want to hear Mark Jackson again.
No, yes, bro.
I hate they broke up that trio, man.
I was glad Gundy was out though.
Stop saying that. I cannot believe you don't like Van Gundy. That trio
Cause he's one, he's a troll. Two, he just a big crybaby. Bro, you wasn't that great of a coach. Shut up. Your brother was better. And he was a better player than you. So shut up. Bro, shut up. He just complains all the time. And bro, him and Mark used to go at it. Like cause he was like, bro, just stop crying.
It was just good chemistry on the mic, though. It was just good chemistry on the mic. It's like they had known each other for years, though, even before that. But that trio to me will just never be eclipsed, bro. Like Mike Breen is obviously the great commentator that we've had for so many years. But
yeah. I thought he was gonna retire.
I thought he was too.
Because it's a lot of announcers. Bang, that's him, right?
Yes.
He said he was gonna retire 5 years ago.
He's not stopping anytime soon. I'm gonna tell you what though. In the TNT days with Marv Albert, bro.
Oh
Marv
yeah,
Albert was different,
yeah.
Always like when he ended, man. That was a rough one. It was like him, Chris Webber, and Steve Kerr at one point.
Is he in the Hall of Fame yet?
I'm not sure if he is yet though.
I gotta look that up.
I like JJ. Now that we're just talking about announcers, I like JJ Redick and Richard Jefferson commentating games. I think they're good.
Yeah.
I think they're a good duo.
Yeah, Richard's funny, and JJ just has that insight, that knowledge of the game. Yeah, he has a high IQ of the game. Yeah, I like him. We talked about this. There's certain players that transition from the sport to commentating and communications to media they transition really well. Those two. I'm gonna start liking Draymond. I think Draymond needs to stop doing his podcast.
Do you like Patrick Beverley's podcast?
Sometimes.
I think I still go with JJ's podcast, Old Man and the Three, Gil's Arena.
I like Gil. I like Gil's podcast because he'll push the envelope, and then he'll have like everybody, different people on there, and they'll be going at it. Like
Carmelo started a podcast with
that was dope.
I like that one.
I definitely don't like Jeff Teague's podcast.
Oh, I cannot stand that show.
Oh my goodness. Dude, who watches?
You know, like the biggest insult is when you say somebody, hey, when you bring up a certain podcast, like, yeah, I just keep scrolling whenever I skip them.
Absolutely.
I don't even like want to see what they're talking about.
Absolutely, because I sat there one time like, what are y'all talking about? Like this,
we're talking about Michael Jackson and Drake, and I was like,
this barbershop talk, bro. Like this ain't podcast. This isn't a podcast.
Like he said something about, man, like I wanted to do a podcast like Joe Budden's, and I was like, you can't replicate a Joe Budden podcast because Joe Budden has a certain niche that he's looking for, and people expect from him. They're not expecting that from you. Like,
no, absolutely not.
You can be inspired by somebody, but just don't try to like replicate them.
They expect you to talk about sports since you was a point guard in the NBA. Why are you doing other topics outside of sports, bro? That's not your angle.
Guy, man. This is all over the place.
What is it, a talk show host now? Bro. Like I sat there for 5 minutes and listened to a clip.
You wasted time. Like, really wasted some brain cells here.
Literally, this in my face, like, what is y'all talking about? Talk about basketball. Go talk about basketball.
I do want to say another podcast is really good to listen to. Numbers on the Board with Kenny Beecham, Pierre. It's like four young guys, and they.
I don't think I heard of that one.
They just got signed to Omaha Productions from Peyton Manning.
It's dope.
So they got a big upgrade.
Wait, Omaha Productions?
Yeah, Omaha Productions. I'm telling you, man, market.
freaking.
It's gonna be Savon's Corner Productions one time.
I didn't create that. Again, Wellington has created
listeners
these things.
You can just pick which one you like, Savon's Corner or Wellington's Wide Zone. I know y'all gonna say Savon's Corner, but Wellington's Wide Zone is like
Wellington's Wide Zone has just been created, and he's been doing these solo videos. I'm so proud of him. But the second video I watched is him going against the 49ers that he's been with.
Like, Wellington, what are you doing?
Yes! I couldn't wait to get on the podcast. I was like, bro,
what is this guy doing?
Advocating for the 49ers his whole season. Like, what's going on? Talking about the Chiefs.
And now getting into Joel Embiid and his time away. Earlier this week it was announced that he's undergoing a procedure to address a meniscus injury He's expected to miss an extended period, but a more precise timeline isn't expected until the doctors kind of complete the procedure. But it's so tough with him in Philly because he was just looking incredible, MVP like this entire beginning of the season
Yep.
up to this point, and now they don't really even know when he's going to come back. Obviously, Tyrese Maxey's going to have to step up more. He's been on a scoring burst, had to sit out for a couple of games. But when you look at this injury for them, like how should they treat this? Because I've heard some people say like, "Hey, just wait till the beginning of the postseason," but you don't want to fall down too much in the standings and kind of be behind the eight ball.
So one, meniscus is not that bad. I don't know if anybody knows about knee injuries, ACL, MCL. Those are the bad boys. Meniscus is it's all right. Like you can return quickly from that, and I think that's what the timetable is, possibly postseason.
Yeah,
But I don't think they have anybody on their roster who can step up. And I know you said Maxey, but I mean,
he can't carry
this
this.
man.
No, I'm not saying he can't carry it.
No, yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like if anybody would step up, it would be Maxey or possibly the guy they traded eons ago.
Tobias Harris.
Yes, Tobias Harris
Tobias
has
Harris
not
better
panned
than
out.
me?
Yeah. No, he's not. Like now, like these past couple of years, like Tobias, bro, because he came from the Clippers. And I'm
Yeah,
like, Tobias was eating with the Clippers. So I understood why they traded for him and then some other picks.
right.
And he just hasn't panned out. It's so Maxey's the guy who had to step up, but this guy was averaging 39 points a game. None of those guys can do that. Joel Embiid was the front runner for the MVP. This is the first year I was convinced Joel Embiid was a great basketball player.
Right. Elevated sense.
Elevated sense. And then I saw LeBron James talking about it, how everybody was like, oh, he should play. And then look at him, he's injured now. But it's going to be a tough transition for them to withstand where they are. I think they're going to drop to have to play in the play-in tournament.
That would be a crazy shot. You're like
Bro,
top two, but bro, like that's a lot of
35
season is left. A
points.
lot of season is left.
Bro, 35 points a game, 11 rebounds. And bro, come on. Who can do that?
You can't replicate that, bro.
Not
Have
on
we
that
ever
team.
seen? I need to do like I need to do like some research on like has a team started like first or second in the East and like falling all the way down to the in seasons, bro. That would be a crazy like fall off, bro.
It's possible.
No
The process. When is process gonna be finished? I'm glad they don't say that no more. They just like,
They just said, let's just stop saying that.
you know what? We need to. That's not our MO anymore.
Man, definitely not. We always said like 97%, 98% loading. We're like, okay, this is done. This is done. The computer, turn off the computers. It's not.
Just unplug. You don't have to just unplug it. Don't even shut it down properly. Just unplug it and walk out the room. That's crazy.
And another thing with this, though, the conversation of who's going to be the leading MVP candidate now that Embiid is away, I think has been another conversation brought up. But I think Jokic has to be in that mix, man, because like he's been consistent. He's been leading the team, keeping them afloat. When Jamal Murray was out, now Jamal Murray's back. They had that close win against the Lakers a few days ago, and he's just stacking triple-double performances. I think every year, I think especially after that championship win, there's just a different feel that a player has because he was obviously already a really, really good player. Now it's just like, hey, I got that championship experience. I can elevate. I can be confident, even more confident. He already was.
Right.
To you, who should be kind of the leading MVP candidate now?
Jokic, for sure. Before it was Joel Embiid went down. Obviously, it was him. He was a front runner. He was just, averaging 35 points a game. You can't beat that, man. And then now that he's down, Doncic has came into the picture. I think
looking good.
Jason Tatum is Shea is another one. I think he's number 2 in the race right now. Yes. Jokic is number 1. And I think if Jason Tatum can have an incredible after the All-Star, I think he can sneak up there too because he's playing really well. But right now is Jokic, 25th triple-double to beat Philadelphia on Saturday. It's looking beautiful. It's looking beautiful, Jokic. I'm starting to become a fan of Jokic.
Sound the alarms.
I'm still not a fan of the best duo since. I'm not a fan of that. Yeah, I'm not a fan. Because where's Jamal Murray? Jamal Murray, whatever.
Back.
But Jokic, he plays the game so old school, and I
Love
love
it.
it
I
because
love
he
that.
doesn't look to shoot first. Never. So he gets the ball.
Like,
He's
where's
looking.
everybody at? Where's everybody
He's
at?
like, "Oh, shot clock," and then he just throws it up and just
And it goes in.
like
Like that
it
that
just
game
goes
winner
in, bro.
he had against Golden State a couple months
Yeah,
ago. That was crazy, man.
bro. I was like, bro,
He
he
almost
threw
did
that
like a
up.
step imitation at Golden State.
Yes. I was like, bro, how does he make these? And everybody just looks around like, bro,
This
how do
guy
you
should not
make
be doing
that,
this.
bro? Like you dashi, you like riding horses. Like,
This
why are
man's
you
this man's
here?
got the buzz cut.
Got the buzz cut. Everything is like slow pace. He does everything slow pace, but it looks like, bro, it's crazy. His pace is a killer. Him and Doncic pace is similar.
Yeah.
And you just sometimes you overplay it, you underplay it, trying to time their release, time their moves, and it's just like, bro, watching clothes dry.
It's almost like
Just like, bro, dribble, like shake something. He's not
something.
fast at all, but
Do
it
you
works
think
for them.
with the 65, because there's this new thing, Tyrese Halliburton, and he had some comments about it, but the 65 game threshold, like the players, if you're gonna be considered for the MVP, you have to play at least 65 games. Like, what if you thought about that? Because obviously the NBA wants more players to play games. They want to, if you want to be in that MVP ranking, they're like, now, hey, you really got to meet that threshold. You can't miss too many games, or you're just gonna be out of the mix.
Absolutely not, bro.
That's kind of crazy.
That's no. What? Come on, man.
65
Don't do
games.
that. Don't
I
do
played
that.
63. No.
Nah, it's 82 games in the season. You got to play 65, bro. That doesn't even make sense.
That's just
Does not make sense. Do not mess things up. I know your ratings. Again, your ratings is not what they used to be. And then you did this in-season tournament. Now you're saying the MVP have to. No, bro. MVP is the best player no matter how many games they played.
Right.
It doesn't matter. And I get the argument like, well, if I played 70 games and my average was this like, and he only played this game because his average is higher than me because he played less games. Your average should be higher than his because you play more games.
Exactly.
So yeah, I don't like that. Don't do that. 65 game threshold. I don't do that. You already took load management away. I agree with that one. Yeah. Obviously, you want players sitting out, blah blah blah. But then you throw this in season tournament. Now you got to figure out how to sustain that every single year. If you're going to do it every single year, now you're putting more pressure on yourself.
That's just such a ridiculous rule. Like it's just kind of like the season is already too long. The season is already
implemented that already.
Yeah, it's already implemented.
Wow.
Yeah. So a lot of players who have who are playing phenomenally well and might miss that won't be even in the MVP consideration.
Wow.
Instantly.
he just got re-signed, didn't he? The commissioner.
Yep. To a 10-year, another decade contract. Now he's just like, hey, implemented rules implemented now.
You know what? Let's do it. What do you got? You got to eat nachos before every game. Like just throwing out stupid stuff.
Hey, what are you eating?
Bro.
What are you eating? Hey, what's in that packet?
It better be nachos. Better be nachos. I need you pooping at halftime. Like, what, bro? Just throwing out anything, man.
Another thing before we move on, what did you think about the Kobe statue that they unveiled a couple of days ago? Because I know Vanessa Bryant was there. They unveiled it. And obviously it was a very sentimental moment.
Right.
Some people were wondering, like, hey, like, should it be a different look of Kobe, a different capture, a capture moment of him. But what did you kind of think about it and just, the unveiling of it?
Well, Vanessa did say that he chose the statue. I get it why he chose it. Obviously, he had a monster game against Toronto, throwing the one up, whatever. I thought it should have been a different statue.
I think so too.
I thought it should have been a different statue.
I don't want to step on what they did, but
this is why we're in this business, Wellington. We give our opinions. It should have been a different statue. And obviously, it's sentimental because Kobe himself picked it out, and I'm pretty sure they were gearing up to do this before he passed away anyways.
Right.
But I think somebody should have told him, hey, Kobe, you need to pick another statue. maybe you crossing over, maybe you dunking something. I mean,
I was expecting something more epic. I was expecting something
yeah,
really more epic, and that just kind of was like underwhelming.
shoot, yeah, it was definitely with him just standing with the one up. It was everything else lined up perfectly. They did it on the date, 2/8/24. They had everything squished out, and then when the confetti dropped, and it was just him standing with the one in his, and I was like, oh man, it's cool, but Kobe, you've been playing the game for a long time. 5 NBA championships. There's more. I rather would have had this. Like him, like we used to always
Yeah,
do this, like Mike. That would have been a better pose. Or I don't know. Maybe we're overthinking it, but I thought it should have been a better pose for sure.
definitely. And now moving on to thoughts on kind of Juju Watkins' performances and the hype surrounding her. Through 18 games
Juju.
with USC, she's averaging 27 points, 3 assists, and 2 steals. She recently had
Mm-hmm.
a 51-point performance against Stanford, and she's also topped Cheryl Miller's freshman record of 39 points in a single game. And man, she is just a knockdown scorer, super consistent, gives a lot of high-level performances, and is a super flashy player. Like, to you, what have you thought about what she's done? Obviously, topping Cheryl Miller, that is just a huge accomplishment
Mm-hmm.
within and of itself. And now she's just really rising the ranks, and USC is so dependent on what she does and in that kind of that output that she's going to put out every game.
I think she's finally figuring out she has to take things in her own hands, and she's bringing out that killer mentality. And I've seen that over because when she first started playing, she was like playing team basketball, passing it, making sure her teammates get into the mix. Now she's just taking over the games. This is
Yeah,
why she was highly recruited. This is why she was one of the best recruits coming out of high school when she went to USC. Like now we're starting seeing that killer mentality. Her getting 51 points. She just had 31 points the previous game they won. So I'm seeing more of the aggression, and I think that's where we're missing out of Bronny. And I cross reference them because they're both at USC, and Bronny's still playing team basketball instead of playing takeover basketball.
yeah,
And now you see what Juju's doing, and Bronny is still here. So I'm waiting for Bronny to take over and be the dog. I think he could be that dog. And Gil say this all the time. Like I've seen him turn it on, but he's still trying to play team basketball, unselfish basketball. We're like, nah, bro, you got to play dog. And that's what Juju's doing. Obviously, she's still playing team basketball, but she's having that killer effect. She can finish at the rim. She can create her own shot. She's a facilitator. She checks all the boxes. But that killer mentality is what she was missing in the beginning of the season. Now we see it.
yeah. Absolutely, man. That's such a good point with Bronny, because I do think Bronny is like, he's just trying to play within the team system and not
Yeah.
like branch out of that. He's just being like, hey, like let me just follow what the coach, and that, and to a certain point that's good, but like, hey, if
Excuse
you
me.
really want to like take over and be that, and also the Austin Rivers thing, what Austin Rivers said recently about that, and
And
Steven Jackson
then
got on to him about it, because I was like, I see what Austin Rivers is saying, because it's like, does Bronny want that pressure instantly, having to play with his dad, his like first year? You know what I mean? Because it's like that. That to me is not saying that he wouldn't love doing that, but also, man, like you're instantly coming in with expectations of being in your dad's footsteps, who's one of the greatest players ever, top two,
right.
and now you're having to just like already adjust to the NBA and also adjust with it with your dad being on your team. I think that's a tough. I don't know what you think about it, but I think that's a tough like adjustment going right into the NBA and then having that as well.
He's good. He's been having that since he got to high school. So this feeling should be nothing new. Obviously, collegiate and NBA level are two different realms. We get that, but the pressure, the media, all those things are already heavy evident for Bronny in college. So him transitioning to the NBA, it would not be any different. If anything, it will be better because I have my dad who's going to be at every game,
That is
who's
true.
going to teach me the ropes. Then I have an NBA coach who's going to teach me the ropes. I have these players that are going to accept me easier that my dad is here and I'm LeBron James' son. So it's all about perspective. With
Yeah,
with Rivers, man, everybody expected you to be so good when you came out to college. You did not. you did not exceed expectations.
Hey, let's
And
not
it
sleep
wasn't your
on let's
dad.
not sleep on Austin Rivers. That the high school and college player Austin Rivers,
Oh,
man.
amazing.
Come on, that dude was incredible. Steven
Shoot.
Jackson was saying, "Man, you were never as good as Bronny." I was like, "He was never good as Bronny." What are you talking
No,
about?
that's
crazy. That's
bro.
insane.
Austin,
That's what I'm disagreeing with.
what?
He was
Austin
a
Rivers
killer.
was a
He was a
dog,
killer.
bro. And he used to play 1-on-1 with the Celtics.
Mm-hmm.
If you hear the stories with KG, he was like, man, he was killing Paul Pierce. He was killing Perkins. He was like, man, let me
Had a
get
game
right.
winner in North Carolina.
Yes,
North
bro.
Carolina.
Austin Rivers was a dog, but it's hard to translate that to the NBA. And it wasn't your dad. It wasn't your dad, sir. It wasn't because your dad was a head coach or whatever. You just didn't pan out. You've been with
Let's go, Austin. Let's go. Come on, team basketball. Stay within the game.
I dislike you right now because that was so funny and improv. Like, bro, I did not improv to you. Oh, you got me snorting.
Anyway. I'm a chill. Say my
Professionalism. It wasn't because of your dad. Bro pulled out the impression. Him and Phil Jackson sound the same.
They really do.
Phil Jackson had that scratchy voice.
He had the same voice.
That's funny, man. I did not expect you to do that. Ladies and gentlemen, Wellington gets in his modes where he just goes in it. It's so funny. And most of the time he's so serious. He just, puts the, going. But wait,
sometimes I gotta get unhinged.
Yes, I like when you unhinged. It's so funny. It is extremely funny.
We're gonna take a quick break and we'll be right back.